Hey there, Alex Kidman with my quick video review of the Nokia 1.3. Got a lot of viewer interest in this one, so I thought I'd give it the full review treatment. And this is a really curious phone because it's a phone that in many ways shouldn't work, which is a hell of a way to start a review, but I'll explain that. This is a very, very low specification phone. I mean, it's got a Snapdragon 215 with 16 gig of onboard storage and only 1 gig of RAM. And in 2020, that's an incredibly low-end recipe. It really shouldn't work all that well, but there's a reason why it does. And there's a reason why, actually, I really rather like it. And that's because it's running Android Go. This is Google's low-end optimized version of Android. So it's basically Android 10, but seriously scaled down so that it can run better on these kind of lower spec devices. And it makes a huge difference. I'm not going to say this is a fast phone. It is not. But it is a phone that does the basics a bit better than you really should get out of a phone that only has 1 gig of RAM. So you get on board a whole bunch of Go-specific apps, Google Go and Maps Go, and even Camera Go. And Camera Go is a new one for the 1.3 that makes the most out of, again, what is a very, very mediocre single lens camera. And again, you are not going to get great experiences out of this. You're not buying a $2,000 premium phone when you buy this. You're buying a very, very cheap device. But it's a cheap device that really does punch above its weight. And that's important for more reasons than just, hey, it's got Android Go stuff. There have been other Android Go phones, of course. It's also the fact that HMD Global, the people who make Nokia phones right now, have said this will get 2 years worth of Android upgrades. So this will stay an Android Go phone, presumably, but it will see Android 11, it will see Android 12, and most of these budget phones, you just don't see that. They all just tend to say, look, it's got what it's got, too bad, and you're left potentially without security updates, without general updates, and this has that flexibility to do that. I also do like, and this is true across the Nokia range, the fact that this is fairly light on in terms of other pre-installed apps. It lets you make the most out of its space. Although again, at 16 gig, that space is meager. You can pump that up with a MicroSD card, and in fact, you'd probably spend more on a MicroSD card if you really went ridiculous than the phone is actually worth. So that's what I like. What do I not like? Look, the camera really is still a little bit too low end. Even in this price bracket, we're starting to see at least some dual lenses. Usually that second lens is only a portrait lens, but still at least dual lenses, sometimes more. And instead, all you really get is this rear 8 megapixel lens and a front 5 megapixel selfie camera. They're very ordinary. You'll have to work a bit to get anything out of them. Now, again, the Camera Go app does actually quite a good job of this. It even lets you apply portrait style effects. They're very, very artificial, but they're there, and you don't always see that in this kind of budget space. But no, the camera did not set my world on fire. The build is also a bit ordinary, and this is a bit of a surprise because HMD has applied that Nokia design language to make some really nice looking phones. This basically isn't one of them. I commented in my unboxing that the back was really tricky to get off, and I still maintain that's true. I've had a couple of people say, oh, you just pull it up from the power port. Yeah, that doesn't work quite so well for me. Now, admittedly, I'm a phone reviewer. I do this all the time. Most people are going to buy this, slap the battery in, hopefully slap in a microSD card, because I do think this needs a little bit more storage, and then be done with it. You'll probably never touch it again until you're getting rid of the phone, or unless you've got to change your SIM card, I guess. But still, the build is not spectacular, even at this kind of price point. So who's it good for? Look, if you want a budget phone and you only want to run basic apps, this is fine, and does, again, punch a little bit above its weight, does a little bit more than you might expect. If you want higher end performance, though, you really don't have to spend a great deal more inside the Nokia range or outside with other competitors to get a much more compelling phone, but for the money, there's plenty of value here. That's my take on the Nokia 1.3. What do you think? Are you keen on it? Have you got one, or are you thinking of getting one? Got any questions? Let me know in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to hit like and subscribe.